and it's okay to miss out on some stuff.
If you are in credit card debt, you should start by paying off the card with the highest interest rate and make the minimum payments on other cards. When the highest interest rate card is paid off, then start tackling the others. If you're looking into credit consolidation services to help you manage debt, you should always research them first. And we are going to talk more credit card tips. Joining us right now, Sarah Rathner. She is a credit card expert with NerdWallet. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And you know, we talked a lot about in the story about those super high interest rates. They're sky high. We know that they're going up because the Fed raised the interest rates to try to lower inflation, but now people have higher interest rates on their credit card. So what can they do?
Yeah, and they're potentially getting higher this week. So this is a great time to find ways to save money on that credit card interest, either through what's called a balance transfer credit card, where you can transfer a balance onto a card that charges 0% interest for a period of time, or a personal loan where you'll pay a lower interest rate and make equal monthly payments for a set period.
And I've also heard that you can actually just call up your credit card company and ask them, please lower the rate. That might work?
That might work. It doesn't always, but it is a phone call worth making because if the answer is yes, it can save you money.
Okay. And we talked a little bit about it in the story about strategies to pay off debt. If you were really in trouble and you have a lot of debt, you know, one option is to go through one of these credit counseling services. But I talked about in the tag of the story that you can also do a strategy where you tackle the highest debt first. Maybe you can, give a little insight on that or tell me if I was right or what you recommend.
Yeah, so what you mentioned was the debt avalanche method. That's where you list your debts in order from highest interest rate to lowest interest rate, and you focus as much money of your budget as you can on that high interest debt while you're making minimum payments on everything else. And that way all of your accounts remain in good standing, but you're tackling the most expensive debt first. There's another method called debt snowball, pretty similar, only you prioritize your debts in order from lowest balance to highest balance. Mathematically, you'll pay less interest with debt avalanche, but a lot of people find debt snowball really motivating because you knock out that first debt or two on the list really fast.
And what about unexpected needs when you have to make a very big purchase? Do you turn to the credit card or should you use the credit cards for gas and groceries and avoid the big purchases? What should we really be using credit cards for?
So that can depend on your own personal financial situation, but typically, it's better to plan ahead for large expenses as best you can, but emergencies happen. That's where an emergency fund comes in handy. You have the cash on hand, even if it's just $300 to $500, and that can help keep you out of credit card debt. But if you have to take on credit card debt due to an emergency, it does happen. It's happened a lot to people during the pandemic. And you do what you have to do, and hopefully you're able to pay that debt back after a few paychecks.
Okay, and of course, always remember to pay it off every month to avoid those high interest rates. Sarah Rathner with NerdWallet, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Cheryl, Rob, back to you tomorrow night. We're going to be back here, of course, and we're going to be talking about housing costs. Rent is up, of course, we know that. Mortgage rates are up, so it's making it harder and harder to find that perfect home.
Are you with us all week?
Yeah,
all week.
Every day this week. And really good, that's a really good start too, because in our 20s, that's when we get those credit cards. Coming out of college, we say yes to every credit card they send to us. And then by the time you're, 25, 26, you've racked up all of this debt.
Oh, I did. I ruined my credit.
Yeah.
I did it once too, I hate to say.
I was just talking to my daughter about this. We kind of want to give her a credit card, but she was asking some questions that I figured she knew some of this stuff and didn't. So these are great.
Well, they do Zelle. Young people don't do a lot of credit card. They do the Zelle, the Apple Pay, and Venmo. So,
but you have to have a credit card, of course, to build up that credit. But start with a low limit. That's what I would say.
Yeah, low limit. Build that credit up. You have to do it, Jason.
But if you don't have segments like this to tell you the value and importance, or you learn it in college or from your household, because I always say that colleges should teach credit card course.
Right, I agree.
So, in our senior year, for sure. Yeah, that's exactly.
We got Jason Knowles here.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that interest rate. You got to know the interest rate. And remember, tomorrow, housing costs for people in their 30s.
The housing market is wild right now, too. Yeah. Okay, we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you. Excellent segment.
Love having him on the show. There's a new grocery store on the west side. It's a good story.
Well, still